Alright, today we're going to talk about using Blogger for teacher reflections. It's a great tool for a bunch of other things beyond that, but that's what our focus is going to be on today. So as we get started, make sure that you are signed in to your school email account. After you're signed in, go ahead and go to the App Grid, click on More, and at the bottom of that, Even More from Google. And then we scroll all the way down and click on Blogger. Now, because you don't have a blog, there's one extra step that you probably had to do that you didn't see here, and that's fine. You could have also gone to just blogger.com, which would be fine, but the perk of going this way is when I hit the apps grid again, I can now go up here and I can add the Blogger shortcut to my apps grid. And I can grab that and I can drag it wherever I want it. Okay, after I have my blog set up, my next step is to hit a new blog. So the top part up here, new blog. Now keep this in mind because this is where a lot of people get confused. New blog equals new site. I'm going to say that one more time. New blog equals new site. So anytime you hit a new blog, it's going to tell you to create a new site. So in this one, you create a title for your blog. You call that whatever you want. And you can either add an address, snappy, or you can just try it out and see what's going on. I just did Langley Reflections, and it says this blog address is available. You do have a bunch of options in the template. You can try them out now, or you can always go ahead and trick it out later, make it look nice and cool. I'm going to opt to do that later. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create my blog. After your blog loads up, you're going to see that Google Domains window pops up and offers to find a domain name for you for the blog. You would have to pay to change it to a snazzy domain name, so you don't have to worry about this. You can either close it or hit no thanks. The rest of Blogger is totally free. Now, since this is part of the Google tools, it has a lot of cool things going on. First thing you're going to notice is that it has this great big notice in here about the European Union law requiring you to give visitors information about cookies on your blog. Don't worry about that. Google does this for us automatically. We don't have to do anything for this. This is just a notice that Google is required to put on there. It basically means nothing to us. Okay, if we're ready to go, the next thing we need to do is kind of look through the tools, and we can see that we have posts, which right now we don't have any posts. We can create a new post. This is where we'll see drafts that aren't made official yet, and we'll see all the posts that we've put out there. We have pages, and the difference between a page and a post is basically that a post you can have comments and it's kind of interactive. The page is something static, like a list of resources or something like that, that's not going to change. If we do get comments, we can check through comments. We can set our blog so we approve them or we don't accept them at all, and I'll show you how to do that. We can also set it, if we look at the Google Plus, so you can set it so it shares with your Google Plus when you make a post. Now, you can also come in right now and you can uncheck that prompt so it doesn't do that for you. If you do use Google Plus, it's kind of a nice way to throw information out there. A lot of bloggers use their blogs to share information with other educators. We do have some overview where you can see stats, number of visits to your site. It goes as far as where your audience range is, and for the most part it's kind of fun to look at that. But if you're using it for more of a personal reflection, I wouldn't expect that number to be very high. You can set it to make money off of your blog. However, since this is for basically your school email, that would not be a good idea because the money would then have to go to the school, I would assume. I'm not going to swear to that, but I would assume. You do have the layout, and this is where you get to kind of move some stuff around. If you're interested in having an About Me, and this would be the only one that I would recommend, then you can leave that on there. If you don't want the About Me on there, you can click the Edit button and then hit Remove. And that's the only one that's really a big deal. The rest of it are just kind of bells and whistles that I can talk about with everybody individually. Okay, next up is the template. Here's where if you want to change it, you can change it, and it shows you what it's going to look like on a computer and what it's going to look like on a mobile device. So you have the ability to do a little customization there if you want to. Or you can actually, change everything all at once. So your call on that one. Next one would be the settings. If you need to adjust your title, this is where you would do it. If you would like to put a description in for your blog, you can do that as well. This will kind of show on the top of your blog, so I'll go ahead and put one in there. This should be fairly short. Notice it says 500 characters maximum, so they don't want it very long anyway. Where that shows up later. Okay, you get to decide if you want it listed on search engines, listed on Blogger. Again, if you want to edit that, you can decide what you would like it to say. That's up to you. For the most part, again, most blogs people are not going to find unless you're giving out the address. So it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, I think we're ready for a post, and this is the big part. This is why we came. So let's go ahead and start that. You have a couple options. You can either go up to the pencil at the top, pencil kind of right, so that'll help out. That'll give you a new post, or you can hit the orange button that says new post. When it opens up, you can see that it looks a lot like a Google Doc, and they did that on purpose. Google likes to keep everything simple. So you want to start off with a title. So start off with the title, and then after you have the title, then you can come down and you can start kind of typing your reflection in. So you just type whatever you want to type in there. Now, the other cool thing is we also have tools that you're familiar with. We want to create a link. We can hyperlink something by clicking on link, send it to a web address, or send it to an email address. And again, I always like to check the box that says open this link in a new window. Okay. The other cool thing we can do is we can add photos. So if I add photos, you can drag and drop images directly into your post. That's cool. It's something that's recent, and that's from your computer. You can choose them from upload, from your web albums, from Google Drive, Google Photos, those kind of things, from your phone and so forth. So you've got plenty of ways to do that. The other thing that we're looking at is you can also insert videos, and this is also pretty cool. So you can go YouTube, you can upload them. Now, even though it says YouTube, sometimes you can put other videos in there. It doesn't have to necessarily be a YouTube video. So if you have the link, try it. The other cool thing is if you have the title, that's also worth trying it out as well. So if I just, for instance, I'm looking at Head Reflections, and I want to see what comes up. I've got this one right here, the value of self-reflection, James Schmidt. I could pop that one in there. So that one's pretty cool. So just basically click it, select it, and it pops it right in. Okay, once I click it, then I also have other options. I can put it left, right justification, all those kind of things. So I can send it to where I would like it to be. The rest of the bells and whistles look pretty much normal that are up there. Some of the other cool things in there are labels. So if I want to put labels on there, so maybe this lesson has to do with math or English or whatever it is, I can add that on there. If this lesson has to do with a particular category of what I'm doing, I can put that label on there. Okay, and those are just tags, if you will. So you can put as many labels on there as you want, or tags as you want. Just separate them by commas, comma space, and then the next one. But those you don't have to use. They're there if you want them. The other thing that if you would like, if you get going later on, you want to schedule a post, you can actually do an automatic, where as soon as you hit it, it goes, or you can actually set a date and time that it'll actually make the post. And there are some professional bloggers who do that, but most everybody just leaves it on automatic and goes. Okay, so after we have our blog set, here's some of the cool bells and whistles that we can do. I can hit preview, and this is going to open up in a new tab, and notice it has the big preview bar, and it's going to give me a look at what my blog is going to look like with that post. Okay. My newest post will show up at the top every time we do this, and this is that description of the blog that I put on there. Okay, if I'm happy with the way it looks, everything came out well, then I can close that tab, and I can go back and I can hit publish. If I want to work on it later, then I hit save. Okay, now the difference of that is if I go back over here, I'm going to hit close, do it that way. When I look at posts, now I have drafts, and it's showing that I have one draft, and I can either edit, preview it, or delete it, and it notifies this draft over here. Okay, so I can check that out. Now I'm going to go ahead and edit it, and I do have options on there, and here's the part that a lot of you guys are probably going to want to see. Under the options, I can hit allow or don't allow. Now if it already has some comments, then you can show the existing comments but hide the rest. So if you don't want comments to show, then go down don't allow, hide existing. That's fine. Okay, and that would be the big one that most everybody would probably be worried about. Okay, as soon as you're done with that, then go ahead and hit publish, and now you're going to see it listed in the posts all, and it's right there. If you want to go to it, you can just click on it. If you want to go to see what your whole blog looks like, then you click on the whole blog. It's going to pop up in a new window. Notice the preview is gone. This is what it actually looks like. And I have a blog archive, sorts it by date, month, and usually this depends on the theme. And you have ways to adjust that. That little tool set tells me that I can change the settings. Okay. If I want to adjust the blog from here, there's a little pencil. I can do it from here as well. So just like Google gives you multiple ways to do things, Blogger as well just let you do multiple things in multiple ways, kind of make life easy on you. Okay, that kind of gets us there. I'm going to go ahead and go back just to Blogger now. Now anytime I go to blogger.com or I go to my apps grid and I hit my Blogger button right here, it's going to bring me up here as long as I'm signed in, and my blog is going to show up here. Now it says 2 page views. That's me. Every time I go, it's going to count myself, and that's fine. And I had one that I was playing around with earlier in between, so it shows that one that I added it and deleted it. So it has a running list, and after a while that'll fall off of there, so that's no big deal. Other than that, you guys are all set. You're ready to take on your assignment, so check that out.